Hey, this is Russ. Let me show you what we got here. Yeah, this is the Area 13 Blackbird. Thanks, Kyle. Kyle from Area 13 sent this bike to me, and many of you know this already because you watch Area 13's YouTube channel. But yeah, he wanted to send this to me so I can do some rides with it and also do a quick review of his bike. So the Blackbird has been around for a bit. It was a bike that I was looking at when I first started thinking about e-bikes, but I think the bike had probably just come out and it was on pre-order only. I didn't know a whole lot about e-bikes at the time, so I had to eliminate it. Plus, its price was higher than what I intended to spend at the time. So current pricing on this bike has a suggested retail of $26.99, but I believe it's on sale currently. Go to the Area 13 website and you'll find the sale prices on it. So yeah, you might notice too that I put a water bottle. it's dripping on my bike here. I put a water bottle here simply because I didn't have a good place to put it yet. There are no provisions to strap on a water bottle on this bike. So in the meantime, I just put a couple of rubber bands and strapped it onto the rear rack. I needed water to keep with me. Let me show you real quickly what the bike is all about and some of the changes I've already made to the bike. First off, let me say this: I've already changed out the saddle. The saddle that comes with the bike is your typical saddle. It's, you know, most people will swap out the saddle to the saddle they feel most comfortable with. And being a big guy, I'm about 255 pounds. I felt I needed the larger Bikeroo saddle. This is not the one with the springs. This is ones with what they call the elastomers, which is essentially rubber. But I've noticed that the Bikeroo saddles have, they're not as cushy as they were when I bought them just maybe about a half a year or so ago. But I got these at a really good price, so I bought 5 of them. I also added a side view mirror, and then of course the cell phone holder. I also added a bell. Okay, I bought a bunch of these bells. I bought 10 of these bells from China for a little over $1.80 something, including the shipping. So I couldn't pass on that, and it's very low profile, so I figured this would be the best kind of bell to put on there. Now, I'm just going to do a quick overview of the bike. I'm not going to give you all my full impressions and things like that until a future review. So let me tell you real quickly what's on here. Now, I think it'd be faster if you went to their website and took a look at the actual specifications. Probably easier for you to read it than it is for me to try to remember what it is that it all said. But let me give you the overview. This bike comes in 2 sizes: 26-inch fat tire bike or 24-inch fat tire bike, both being 4-inch wide fat tires. This is the 26 that I have. I just barely cleared this thing. All right, this is a huge bike. I will say that right off the bat. It is very large. I have an inseam of about 30.5 inches. Add in, you know, the size of shoes, I'm probably about 31.5, something like that. I don't know what the standover height is on this thing, 32 maybe? But I just barely fit on it. I touched the top of the frame of the bike at the lowest section. So yeah, I probably could have gone to the 24, but you know, all my other bikes have 26-inch fat tires. I figured I'd stick with the 26. Overall, I seem to like it, even though it's a little bit large. Now you see the branding on this bike still says Bolton. These bikes used to be called the Bolton Ebikes. Also here, I don't know if you can see it, but it still says Bolton Electric Bikes. But the company had a change in name. It's now called Area 13. It's actually kind of smart how he did it, because if you look at the B for the Bolton, it looks like a 1 and a 3. So it's now called the Area 13. So we're going to call this going forward the Area 13 Blackbird. Let's start in the front here. Okay, the front fork is a suspension fork. This is better than your typical. I understand that this is similar to how motorcycles have it. This is why this fender is so much higher, is because the suspension is down on the bottom. It's not on the top like some other bikes. So when this suspension starts bouncing, you need the clearance over here. So that's why this is way up here. The brakes are 203 millimeter rotors. The brakes are made by Tektro. These are the Dorado hydraulic brakes. This is a step up from your typical Tektro hydraulic brake. So this has a double piston system inside there. Cable management is really good. They've wrapped everything. This thing looks really nice. Now the one thing that I did have to change a little bit is the front headlight that comes with it. The bracket typically goes up and down here. Let me aim it here. You can see it a little bit better. Typically this would flip upwards, so this would be in front of the B of the Bolton. And the reason I changed it is because I was getting a squeaking sound and I didn't know what it was from. Turns out that this bracket was hitting the top of the front head tube. So by turning this to the side, I was able to eliminate it from touching, and the squeaking went away. But because of that, to angle this down, I took one of the screws off of the headlight. There's two screws that hold it. This way I can kind of tilt this headlight up and down. Now the tires are tubed, but you can convert these to tubeless if you like. So they include some of the fluid that's needed to seal everything up to turn it into a tubeless tire if you prefer. But the tubes that are in here use Presta valves. Now you can see I actually have an adapter on there, that gold-looking adapter that converts the Presta valve into a Schrader valve, so that I can use my standard Schrader style air pumps. Doesn't cost much. They include one. They include an adapter, but I wanted two of them, so I bought those adapters on eBay. I think it cost me like $4 or something like that. 48-volt battery. I think it's 16 amp hours if I'm not mistaken, but I have to double check. It's a big battery. Controller's fairly large too. It's in the back there. The rack is included, the rear rack. There's front and rear tail lights. Kind of hard to see again, it's very bright here, but tail light in the back here. These are metal fenders. It is a Bafang 750 watt motor. The derailleur is made by Ceram, as is the gear shifters. These are trigger shifters. So this top one here goes down to a lower gear. This goes up to a higher gear. So if you're going up a hill, you want to go to the lower gear, you would use this. This is a 9-gear system. Okay. The pedal assist is 1 through 5, but it's set up for 0 through 5. You can turn it off altogether if you want. Push the center button that turns on the display. And again, it still says Bolton on there. It's kind of hard to see, but this is a color display. It's really bright out here today. They also include an adjustable handlebar stem here. So this has some risers on here. I'm not going to raise this anymore, but you can tilt this up and down and towards you if you like. If you like to use a throttle, there is a thumb throttle on your left-hand side. It's kind of different for me. All of my throttles have always been on the right, so now I'm getting used to using my left hand. And the reason they did this is because if you look over on this side, you know, those trigger shifters, there's not much space to be able to put a throttle as well. So the throttle has to go to the left so that you can include those trigger shifters on the right. I put my bell on the right too because it's just a little bit easier. There's just too many things to have to deal with your left hand here. So you have your up and down pedal assist right here, as well as your throttle. Yeah, it's a nice bike. I like it so far. How's it riding so far? Pretty good. Yeah, I'm very pleased with it. So that's just a quick overview. Price of the bike, did I mention that? They're I think $26.99, but they do have sale prices on this bike going on right now. So if you're interested in the bike, go directly to Bolton's Bolton's Area 13's website. I still know them as Bolton E-Bikes because that's what I I've always thought of them when I first started looking at e-bikes. Go to area13ebikes.com. Oh, the tires are made by V, so they're V Tire Company. These are pretty aggressive treads on here. Yeah, nice. Oh, one thing too. I know on the website, I don't know if they've changed it or not, but they had a dropper seat post. They've gone back to a standard stock rigid seat post at this point. I don't know if they will add a dropper seat post again in the future or not, but right now they are shipping with just standard seat posts. A little too bad. I was kind of looking forward to trying that to see if that would help me or not. Might help getting on and off the bike. But you know, I'm used to these bikes. I tend to tilt them down a little bit. What I'll do is I'll just simply tilt the bike down and then swing my leg over. So there you have it. Area 13 Blackbird. It's just an overview today. We'll do a riding video in the future. I'm sure we'll be taking this bike out a lot as well. So we'll get to learn the bike as we go, but I will tell you this, it's very powerful so far. I've been able to get this up to 28 miles per hour without a problem. And going up hills, no problem at all. This could very well at this point be the most powerful bike I have right now. So thank you very much to Area 13 for sending me the bike. I will hopefully try to do it justice and ride it well and do many rides with it. Anyways, if you're interested in the bike, go to area13ebikes.com and put a note in there, let them know that Russ sent you over. Anyways, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. I'll talk to you guys next time.